Okay, this is Be the Bear Part 2, and it wouldn't be a Strollo deal if there wasn't a little science in there. And believe me, I don't know much about this stuff. I just read it off the internet just like everybody else. But if you made a graph, okay, and said that this is purely lift, and what we used to call lift was we get under somebody and lift them, try and lift them off the ground. And then if you made this pure drive, okay, just pushing, like pushing a car, okay, or driving somebody back. And if you combine the lift and the drive, you'd get a force vector at an angle, okay? And that is flip. And flip is a torque. What we're doing is flipping somebody up by using our hooks, flipping him up. And if he's making force this way, we're adding force at an angle, okay? And that was a big deal, okay? Adding force at angles. The first time I really started looking at it was when we were playing Virginia Tech, and we were adding force to our tackle, our big 6'9" tackle was snapping a guy's hip while the guard was engaged in the threes technique, and they were flipping this guy all the way over. It was pretty good. Okay, now adding force at an angle is a fundamental of this concept. Okay, another fundamental that we have to really think about is gravity. Okay, because we're just two-footed animals. Okay, we only got 2 feet, and because gravity is a constant. Okay, it's always trying to pull us to the ground. We always have to have either one of our 2 feet, both of our 2 feet, or the opponent, okay, the opponent holding us up. And that's making that if the opponent was coming at you like this, that's making a 4-legged animal, okay? But in any event, whatever we do, everything we do has got to take gravity into consideration. And like I said before, a human body makes force 3 ways. He can push, okay, he can pull, or he can torque. But in order to do these two, he's got to use his hands, and he's got to get into the defender's handles, okay? He can push with anything. He can push with his head, he can push with his chest, he can push with his elbows, he can push with anything. But to pull and torque, he's got to use his hands, and he's got to apply it to handles, okay? Now, we use the word condense quite a bit, and that just meant to shorten your limbs by bending at the elbows, knees, hips, okay? And now we call that coil, okay? And the reason we coil is to accelerate, to make our output levers, okay, shorter, so that we can change people. And of course, changing people is doing work. It's the only way for us to measure work, is how much change can we affect on the defender? How far can we move him? How can we get him out of the way? Okay, so we coil or condense our legs and arms to accelerate our bodies and our opponents in order to create change and measure that change as work. Okay. And again, we've just gotten into the shell, compressing or rather rolling the shoulder to protect your chest. Otherwise, we're going to protect our chest with great hand placement, okay? But one way or the other, we cannot allow access to our handles on the defenses, okay? And then the final thing is we stomp our feet into the ground to make sure that we've got solid contact on the ground, okay? All right, so that's the science of it. I really like this stuff, but some people probably don't. But that's okay. I don't care. You don't have to look.